Hello everyone, welcome back. So in the last video we were talking about building a home for some villagers that we had brought down this canal that we built. You'll see I've got some marks on the ground to measure out that building. I'm going to show those to you and explain what I'm thinking. So this here is a mark for 2 doors. Actually, I may only do 1 door on this side. But it shows me where the center of this wall is, which is where I would want the doors. And then I've got these marks along the side to show me how long the building is. It also helps me count a little bit. Coming to here is, let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this is the next 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so 20, and then we have actually 31 blocks long, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 10, 14 blocks wide. So this also shows us a convenient outline of the building, so we can just dig a little trench and get started. These sand blocks are here to show me where the interior walls are going to be. There's going to be a 2-block wide corridor down, and then it's going to be a bunch of rooms that are inside the walls. They'll be 4 by 4, you can see. Not terribly big, but we're trying to keep this project to a manageable level. We've only just barely started this game, and I've already had to go down and mine some extra cobblestone just to make this building possible. I think I had to go down and mine for about an hour or something, maybe not that long, but just to make sure that I had enough cobblestone blocks to make this building. We're digging out the foundation layer. That's going to be solid stone, smooth stone actually. In a second here I'll show you what that looks like and how you make it, if you don't still remember from the previous video that we did it in. But yeah, I'm going to dig out this outer wall outline, and then I'm going to go grab some blocks, and we will show on camera what it's like to build a relatively fancy building. We can get a whole lot more sophisticated if we want to, but this one's using a block that's a little harder to get. There's a reason for that. You see, we have here the smooth stone. We are going to grab all of this, and we're going to end up needing some of this, probably a little bit more of that than we actually have. And let's see, that'll do us for now. In case you don't remember how we make the smooth stone, we need to place stone in the furnace with some combustible like charcoal to make it into smooth stone. To get stone, you either need a silk touch pickaxe, or you have to put cobblestone in the furnace and make that into stone, which is what I did. Since we're right at the beginning, we don't have magic. Silk touch is an enchantment. We haven't talked much about enchantments, but we will. Alright, so we're going to just start by laying out this outline. We're going to aim low so we don't do that, which I just did. And we're going to aim a little bit lower so we don't do that again. And just back ourselves around the whole building, lay out an outline of what this building is going to look like. Now the reason I chose this smooth stone is because if I break smooth stone with a pickaxe, it will come back to us as a block of smooth stone. If I break a block of regular stone with a pickaxe, it comes back to us as cobblestone. And I didn't want to build the building out of cobblestone. This building's going to be a little fancier. I don't want it to look so plain as cobblestone would make it. Alright, so now we have to think I'm a little wary of digging up my marks, but I just don't see what else to do about that, so we're just going to get to it. I'm going to dig up this whole layer, and then we're going to replace it with this smooth stone we brought down. So what I was thinking when I planned out this building originally, I was thinking that I'd have these rooms that were 4 by 4 on the inside. That's enough room to put a bed, a work block, and a chest on each side of the room for each of 2 villagers that will call that room home. And then having 2 villagers in a room allows us to breed the villagers easily without having to worry about finding a way for them to find each other. The rooms will be closed off with steel doors, iron doors I should say, and that will keep the villagers from wandering around where we don't want them to be, which will help us know where to find a given villager who offers a specific trade. Now that's getting a little ahead of ourselves. We don't have any villagers to trade with. We just have that one inside that little earth shack that we put up to protect him from monsters. You may notice as we get a little closer that we hear some noises from that villager and from a skeleton that happened to spawn inside there with the villager. Luckily, skeletons don't try to kill villagers. If it had been a zombie, well, we'd have a zombie and probably a zombie villager in our little shack there, and that would be a lot less useful to us. They would both try to kill us as soon as we opened that up. But since it's just a skeleton, we'll just open it up and take care of him pretty soon here. But I want to lay down enough of the outer walls that our villager won't accidentally wander off and be lost. I need another shovel. Looks like I might need 2 more shovels. Just to get this foundation laid. So we need sticks, we have sticks. We need stones. Do we not have any cobblestone left? Looks like we don't. Let's just grab a few more from right here real quick. Yeah, that's enough for 4 more shovels. Make those shovels. We'll start with 2. Oh, okay. And then it's about time to sleep. It is time to sleep. Once we finish digging up those sand blocks, we'll put those in the furnaces up here and make a little bit more glass. I'm planning on having part of those interior walls be made of glass so we can see what's inside each room. And then the inner walls that are not glass will be made of more smooth stone like we have around the outside edge of our foundation right now. And we'll have a little glass over top of a 1 height door and a 2 height door, which will be in the middle of the outer wall of each room, or at least I should say the inner wall of each room, I guess. The door that we'll use to get into the rooms. I'm telling you a whole lot of stuff because probably a little boring to watch all of this digging without any talking, even though it'll be hard to visualize probably exactly what I'm talking about. We will very soon start laying it out. So I've experimented with a few different villager houses in other games. Usually I go with something pretty simple because most of my hardcore games don't get to end game content, and like I've said before, I don't really like building a fancy complicated building that we might lose if we die. But this building is going to be functional. We're going to have a 1 height trapdoor set next to a regular iron door, both iron, I should say, and that will help us control how villagers get in and out of these rooms. Alright, we're going to lay down a bunch of stone now. We're going to do that trick that we just did with the outer wall and try to aim low. And then go the other direction. Back and forth. Until we have the whole thing bricked out. And we bounced. That was less useful. Okay, moving on. It's going to happen a lot. We're going to try and keep it from happening. Save ourselves a little durability on our picks and a little time, but see, we are going to keep doing it. Because obviously I don't have enough practice doing this yet. I just keep bouncing everywhere. This is why we made it out of smooth stone instead of regular stone. Regular stone would have looked okay. Would look pretty nice, but every time something like that happened, we'd be getting cobblestone. And cobblestone just doesn't look very good when you have big areas composed of cobblestone. I toyed with the idea of doing the kind of village look where you have logs and cobblestone, because I did have a lot of logs before I baked all of that stone into smooth stone, all of those cobblestones into stone and then smooth stone, I should say. You know what I probably should have done is I probably should have marked the outside, you know, just outside of the walls, where the inner walls were going to be. Now I'm going to have to count them out. Hope I don't make any mistakes on that. This is why we do the measuring, so we don't make mistakes. Well, the other reason was so I knew how many blocks to make and what it was going to look like, so I didn't have to think about that on camera. But and we're just laying this out. We're going to keep laying it out. I was about to say I'm getting a little better at not putting those blocks where they don't go, and then I just did it again. Fix that. Alright. Back to laying it out. Almost done getting this floor down, this foundation, as I'm calling it. It's going to be an awful lot of smooth stone in this building. Kind of monochromatic. Oh well. Once we get the rooms furnished, it'll look a little less so. So if I ever end up doing this again, I'll know to mark the outside of the building as well as the inside to give me something to look at once I've dug up my marks. My first time building a building like this exact building like I'm thinking of. Alright, now it's time to deal with that skeleton in the shack. I really want to call it a closet, but it isn't really a closet. Remember to block those arrows, and he's dead. Now we can dig up the rest of this. You can see that I put the marks, the sand block marks, down. That's how I knew there was a skeleton in there. Now since that villager's in a boat, we can dig this up. If he weren't in a boat, we would have to get the outer walls up first. But that's interesting. What did we pick up? Oh, a bow. We've never picked up a bow before. We unlocked a new recipe. Alright. sand. Now we can go put our sand in the furnaces and make some more glass because we're a little short. We only have looks like 100 blocks, and we're going to need 72 plus 36, 8 more. Just put 8 of these sand blocks there and let them cook while we're setting things up. Down there, we should probably grab some more of our other blocks as well. Drop off some of this dirt. See, if you lay it out ahead of time like that, it goes where you want it to go instead of where you don't want it to go. Alright, and you shouldn't need that sand, so we'll leave that there. And we're going to put that in there, and that in there. Alright, get some more smooth stone and we're back to business. Yeah, let's just grab it all. We're going to need it all. I should get some doors. I haven't decided what I'm going to make the doors out of. Oh, I have. They're iron, right? Right. Okay, we don't have any iron. I didn't think about that. So for the moment, how are we going to handle this? Villagers can open wooden doors. I guess we'll just have to wall that first villager in. I'll replace the wall blocks with iron doors later. I thought I had taken inventory of everything I needed to make this building. Oh well, we'll come back to that. Starting to get hungry. We took a little damage fighting that skeleton. Number one rule of hardcore is always make sure your life is full. Alright, so before we had 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, those were the doors. I counted something wrong. I think I counted something wrong. Ah, yes, that's what it was. I counted wrong. Okay, we're all right. I'm just going to lay out where that door is because that is a landmark for us. Do the same thing over here. In fact, you know what? We're just going to reproduce those marks that we did earlier from memory. And that will help us know where the walls are supposed to be. So there's more than one way to, as they say, skin a cat. Even though there shall be no cat skinning in this video. Cats are our friends. They protect us from creepers. A little bit of trivia. Creepers are scared of cats and won't approach within, I think it's 6 blocks. Might be 8. Alright, so now we've got our marks back. We should be able to figure out where the walls go pretty easily now. We're going to go sleep. This is our second night. So we're going to get a little bit farther on this building and then we'll call it for this video. And then we will gather some more resources so that when we come for the next video, we'll have what we need for those iron doors. Alright, so remember we were going to make those rooms 4x4 on the inside, so our wall is right here. And then we're going to put glass here, and here, and there's going to be a door here and here. Sometimes my mouse doesn't work with me. Alright, glass, and we're going to do a little experiment. break glass, it breaks. You can't pick it back up again. So we're going to try a couple of things. We're going to try using glass blocks like that in one room, and we are going to try using glass panes in the other. And we'll evaluate which one we think looks better. So to make a glass pane, you need, I forget. It's horizontal. Okay. Make one of those. Make our glass go a lot farther if we use glass panes instead of glass blocks. We'll take a look and see if that looks good or not. And without outdoors, we can't tell. That's unfortunate. Wow, that just doesn't want to work with this at all. Guess we're going to have to grab some wooden doors to mock something up. I'll show you what I'm talking about. The recipe for a door, as you may recall, is 6 blocks, 3x2, upright. If we'd done it sideways, we'd get trapdoors instead. In fact, why don't we do one of those too, just so we can get the whole effect. Alright. Hopefully when we place some blocks next to those glass panes, the panes will finish forming. Right now they are not doing what we hoped they would do. Alright, so, nope, not working. The idea was to not do it that way. The idea was to have them look like that. Villagers are only 1 block tall, so if I open that door, a baby villager can get out, but the big villagers won't be able to get out. And then I have this one for me to get in and out, which will of course also let the villagers in and out, but we'll be careful. That's why we have glass next to the doors. So if they are standing right next to the door, ready to just run out as soon as we open it, we will hopefully know. Alright, so these glass panes did not form properly. Maybe they just won't form properly next to a door. I haven't worked a whole lot with glass panes. That's what it looks like. It looks like they only fully form next to full blocks. Since those doors are not full blocks, obviously the glass panes are not going to work. You see that they formed that way. If I do this here, the glass pane will finish forming. And it looks like those glass panes look pretty much identical to the glass blocks. So since we're having trouble with them working with our design, we're just going to get rid of them. Glass panes are not going to work for us. Oh, so we wasted 6 glass blocks making those panes. We'll go put 6 more sand in the furnace so that it's ready for us when we need it. And we'll put the glass panes back in the box. Someday we may want them. Alright, let's lay out this one room so you can see what I was thinking. Finish putting these walls up. Well, we ended up walking off of that wall before we were done with it. That's okay. And then have glass over the doors like this. So now we've got a rough idea of what that room's going to look like. Now if I wanted to complete the image, I would probably put a roof over top, and I would lay down. Oh, I messed something up. I didn't come out far enough. That's what I did. That's what I did wrong. Means we just wasted a whole bunch more glass blocks. Good thing we have some extra sand. So we just wasted 3, 6, 79 more. We have just enough. We're all right. Put 9 more in the kiln, furnace, I should say. Inside so it flips up the right way. Put that up from the outside so it flips the right way. Put the rest of the blocks down for those walls. Alright, let's go grab a bed and any sort of work site block, job site block that we have. Do we have any at all? See any, but let's see what's one we could make real easy. Well, farmers use composters as a job site block, so let's use one of those, 2 actually. That will 1, that will be 2. Alright, and then we need a couple of boxes. 2 logs per chest. It takes 8 wood blocks to make a chest. Set in a hollow square. Now we'll have enough to make 2. Alright, so we have our job site blocks, we have our chests, we need beds, 2 beds. That'll take 6 wool and 6 wood planks. Alright, set them out in a bed shape. And there we go. We have what we need for our first room. Maybe we'll dye these beds and not leave them white. There's an awful lot of white in this building already. Alright. Put down some beds. Maybe we'll put them like this. And then, actually no, we're going to put them like this. And the reason why is villagers like to stand next to their job site block. So we're going to put that on the far wall so that they're not standing right next to the doors all the time. And then we'll put the chests back here because they won't even really care about the chests. Those are there for our benefit. If we have a farmer over here that allows us to trade for beets and carrots, we can keep beets and carrots in here. If we have one over here that lets us trade for wheat and potatoes, we can put wheat and potatoes in there. Alright, so that room is complete. Sans the roof, ceiling, I should say. This is actually going to be a 2-floor building when we're completely done. I'll only build it to 1 floor on this particular pair of videos. I hope that it will take us to build this. That's about it for this first video. We'll be back soon when we have a little more iron to make the kinds of doors we want to make for this building. The reason we pick iron doors are 2. Number 1, to open the door you need to use buttons or levers or something, and villagers aren't smart enough to do that. And number 2, zombies can break down wooden doors, but they can't break down iron doors. And zombies will try to eat your villagers if they can. So that's our plan. We'll be back again soon. Hope you all enjoyed it. We'll see you next time. Thank you.